The most touching love story of the year is the one that is not included in this video. The story takes place in a rural area in the northwest. The male lead, Mayuti, is a teacher. He is a teacher recognized by the village. The female lead, Chao Guiying, has been sick since childhood. She has been sick for a long time. The two people who are regarded as the burden of their families have been living under the burden of their families. The man has no dowry. The woman has no dowry. This unpopular marriage has given birth to a true love. On the first night of the wedding, Mayuti and Guiying live in a deserted house in the village for many years. Guiying peed in bed unexpectedly. Mayuti didn't blame her. She turned to sleep in silence. Guiying also took off her pants. She sat in front of the fire and begged for a night. When she woke up in the morning, Mayuti saw Guiying, who was unfamiliar with her. She didn't know how to get along with her, but she respected Guiying very much. She took her to see her parents. Before the wedding, Mayuti also introduced his wife to her. On the way back, Mayuti gave food to Guiying, but Guiying was afraid that the other party would dislike her eating too much. She was afraid to eat. In Mayuti's persuasion, Guiying finally put down her worries. Mayuti brought Guiying to the store and bought wheat seeds and pollen. The villagers began to beat Mayuti. They mocked him for being used by his third brother for most of his life. After the wedding, they couldn't bear to give him a few tables of food. At this time, Guiying peed in her pants unexpectedly. Everyone despised it. Mayuti was still calm. He took off his coat and put it on Guiying. The villagers could only bully Mayuti, and in the face of the long-term debt of their corn land and the village head who worked for money, they could only bear it. On this day, the village head's father was seriously ill and needed panda blood urgently. The village head promised that as long as someone was willing to donate blood, that the land rent and salary of each family in the village would be paid in advance. But only Lao Ma in the village was panda blood, so a group of people came to Lao Ma's house and persuaded him to donate blood. Guiying refused to go to her husband's house. Lao Ma also said with shame that he was most afraid to go to the hospital. No wonder the village head said that he could let his friend in the hospital come to his house to draw blood. He drove Lao Ma to his house. It was hard to see, so he had to compromise. Because it was the first time Guiying took a car, he had a stomachache and had to get off the car to clear his stomach. The village head saw Guiying dirty his BMW. "You're so bad. Why did you leave it in the car?" Looking at the mountain and sea in front of the table, Lao Ma was afraid of drawing blood and lost his appetite. Guiying was also worried that her husband's body was not moving fast. When the nurse confirmed that Lao Ma was not infected and could be safely adopted, she began to draw blood. She hadn't had a break until she got home. Third brother came to the door again. It turned out that his eldest son got married and ordered a batch of new furniture in the city. In order to save road expenses, he wanted Lao Ma to take his donkey cart back. Early in the morning, Lao Ma prepared Guiying's daily food in advance. There were some stir-fried dishes he left in the pot. In the city, Lao Ma fell in love with a coat. Unexpectedly, the landlady took off and was ready to suck Lao Ma's blood. But Lao Ma only had 50 yuan. The helpless Lao Ma had to let the landlady keep it for him first. Wait until he enters the city next time. The village head happened to see this scene. He bought this coat for 80 yuan. He gave the coat to Lao Ma. The arrogant Lao Ma said, "I borrowed your money to buy it." With this gift, Lao Ma desperately went back, but it was a donkey cart after all. It was already midnight when the third brother arrived. The third brother not only did not care about his brother, but also counted him. Only Guiying was worried about Lao Ma. He looked around the village for a night and finally waited for Lao Ma. But Lao Ma scolded Guiying as soon as he got off the car. He was full of concern. Guiying stood for a long time and slowly drew a hot bottle from her arms. She was worried that Lao Ma would be thirsty on the way, so she stayed at home and visited the village all night just to make Lao Ma drink hot water. Lao Ma's heart was warmed by this moment. He took out the coat he had just bought.